Henry's forest is about Henry, so he always has this special quiet place that he likes to go to, and it's in the forest. He likes to go to this forest because it's all nice and peaceful. There's not really anybody to bother him. He can just be in nature and have a nice old time. So later that night, a storm happens. And while the other entrants think that it's all nice and relaxing and cool, Henry's like, oh shit, what if it attacks the forest? And the next morning comes. It does, and trees have fallen onto the line, and they have to pick it up. And while they're picking it up, Henry's all sad. Toby tells this to Sir Topham Hatt because he knows how special that forest is to Henry. And so, Sir Topham Hatt plants more trees and is able to make the forest all nice and wonderful again with the help of Trevor and Terrence. So happy ending for Henry, he got to get his shit back. And in the next episode, Gordon needs to take a bath. He's covered in dirt and mud, but he thinks he's too busy and doesn't have time to take one. Which you'd think with Gordon being all full of himself and thinking he's the grandest engine of them all, he'd be like, I'm covered in mud, get this off of me, I need to be clean. You'd think he'd be something like that, but I guess not. So he gets mud all over James too, so he has even longer to wait to get clean. But he heads to Knapford Station to get the express, and Sir Topham Hatt is furious, one, because he was late, and two, because he's covered in mud. So he has Henry take the express instead so that Gordon can get cleaned, and as punishment for doing all this shit, Gordon is just doing freight trains for a while now. And now James is doing the express. And then suddenly a nice fall weather comes in and gets leaves all over the tracks. And James can't go up the hill, Gordon's famous hill, because there are leaves in the track. And so Gordon ends up helping James by pushing him in the back. And he's able to do that. And now Gordon is able to do the express again because he realizes he needs to take a good bath once in a while. This episode is one that I have no memory about until I just watched it. Because the moment I saw Gordon covered in mud, I was like, I remember this episode, holy shit! And it's kind of crazy, that's why I really love doing this project, because not only do I get to relive and re-experience all of the classic episodes that I loved when I was a kid. Like, in the last video, I experienced that with Thomas Percy and the Dragon. But in this video, I got to experience an episode that, honestly, I completely forgot about. But watching it right now, I remember watching it, and I remember some of the iconography of it, like Gordon covered in mud. I was like, holy shit. I saw this episode when I was a kid. Wow. Crazy, And that's why I love doing this project. It's fun to look back. It's fun to catch some of the ones that I might not have seen. And to relive all the classics that I watched over and over and over and over again. Because I had all those DVDs and VHS tapes, as I mentioned last year. And, it was really fun. Also, the episodes were good. Fuck, I probably should have mentioned the Forest one. Yeah, I have no memory of the Forest one either. No memory of that one, but it's still a good episode. It's still a fine episode. It's your standard kids show environmental episode, but it's not preachy. It fits in line with the rest of the morals and the lessons that we learned throughout the series. So it doesn't feel like a fucking Captain Planet episode. Basically, a natural disaster happens. Henry is sad. They fix it so Henry's not sad anymore. Henry's the biggest fucking sad in this show. Like, oh my god.